Welcome to the Contractors Revenue Disruptor Podcast, where we teach you to win $1 million contracts. I'm Michael D. Young. What's up, family? This is Michael D. Young, and I'm here at our Revenue Disruptor Podcast, and I have a special guest with us here today, none other than Joi Hunt. For most of you that may have followed her on Instagram, I think she's famous. I think she is a celebrity, but she has been the owner of multiple businesses, has been successful in her own right, so many different experiences that she has had, not only in business, but in relationships, in life in general. And I believe she is one of our leading ladies in our Black and Brown communities. And I'm so grateful to have her here on our podcast today. So, Joi, thank you for coming. I cannot forget the day that I met you because I was minding my own business at the conference. I had some food in my hands, and I was going to sit down to eat, and lo and behold, I look up and I see this lady that I follow on Instagram. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is her. So it was a celebrity moment for me. And I just want to say thank you for all of your posts, your many posts. I can't even count how many thousand posts you have on your page, but so much education, so much information. And I know that it's important for us to provide value content for those that follow us. So we continue to engage, educate, empower, encourage our audiences. I guess what led you to, number one, crushing the internet with over 300 and some thousand followers, which is crazy by itself. I think you're the only person I know, and I know a lot of people that have that many followers. And I guess kind of talk about your journey to there, and maybe why you still do what you do.
I'm gonna say me being authentic, but the growth is nothing but Jesus. Okay, so I can't say take my class and I can show you. You know, I am coming out with a how to market on social media course, but increase always comes from God, right? So whenever the time is right, He will give you that increase. So I started the firm during COVID. I had several businesses in Houston, and people are all like, how do you start, and how you do this and how you do that? But you know, when you're working, you know, you don't have time. I don't have time to mentor nobody. I don't know no time to do all this. But when COVID happened and everything shut down, I'm like, well, let me answer some DMs. Let me answer some text messages. And people just started, asking questions. I just started just help people. And I said, let me do some videos. And I was bootleg. I had like a hat on, no makeup on. I was just, just giving, tips.
Right.
I was real boring because I'm like in lawyer mode on a whiteboard. And let me give you this 10-minute video, on why you need to have an LLC, right? Boring. But I think, how do I can't explain this whole concept in 1 minute. And so, leaving my husband, leaving a toxic domestic violent relationship where it ended, where he tried to kill me in front of our son, and just packed up my stuff and moved to Florida. And it's like, okay, so what am I going to do for money? Because he took all the money. He just took everything, took all the money out of the account, banned me from the dealership, changed the locks, took the money out of the business account. Like now I'm in a lawsuit, trying to get all that. It's like, well, I don't have money for a brick and mortar. My expertise is in brick and mortar. I can get whatever your business is. I can get you pumping in that area. The club's gonna be slanging and banging wherever you are. How do I market to the world? So it was like, what do I do? And my best friend was like, Joy, you're boring. Boring?
Really?
I'm boring.
I can't see it.
She was like, I don't see joy. Like you have these, you have these sweatshirts on, you have a hat. And I'm thinking like, honey, I'm giving away free advice. Like, what do you want for this free advice?
Right.
And she was like, where is joy? And I said, you know what? You ain't gotta say it again. I'm gonna give you joy. You want joy? Oh, I'm gonna give you a show, right? Lord. So I said, well, let me just go back to being joy. When you're in a toxic relationship, you lose you, right? So when I started this full time, I was still broken. I'm still, is my son going to be okay?
Right.
What am I going to do for money? Like I'm everywhere. But I'm like, let me go back to before I got married. Who was that person? And I brought the old Joy back, right? Put these heels on, put some clothes on, beat this face out. And I said, boring. Oh, I'm going to give you a show.
Okay.
And so that's how I started. And I think by me just being me, it was a little different because I am teaching educational stuff, but I try to make it fun because my long whiteboard video is boring.
That's some good stuff. I think that alone was worth a lot of money. And of course, just because I think most of us, like you said, that have experience, that have knowledge, that have been to school or any type of academia, any type of business acumen, I think we have all that information and it's hard to communicate it in a way that people actually enjoy receiving. And I think you hit the nail on the head because myself, I'm extremely introverted and it takes intentionality. It takes a lot of effort. Just like even before we started recording, just to dance and move for me. Okay. I have to think about it. Like for you, it may come natural. And that may be the natural joy.
Right.
But for me, I have to be intentional about it because I recognize I don't want to be boring. And so that's a skill I see, okay, I need to work on this. That's why I was going to have you show me how to dance. But anyway, so phenomenal example and testament to how to start over again. And I know there's probably somebody that'll watch this that may be in a place where maybe they have a similar experience to you, or maybe just in business, their business is dead, the business is flat, and they're not sure what to do, even though they have all of this gifting, all of this skill on the inside of them. What tips or advice would you give to that person to encourage them to start over again?
I would say you are not starting over. See, a lot of times we think
that's good.
The job failed, the business failed, the relationship failed. So now I got to start all over. You're not starting all over.
That's good.
How long were you in business? How many mistakes did you make? Those are called learning lessons. See, we think education is I got to go to school. I got to get this degree. I got to get this trade. And so we pay money for the degree, for the certificate. Well, baby, you paid money in your business when you bought the wrong inventory, when you got a spot that was too big, when you were in the wrong neighborhood, when you were, when you hired the wrong employee, when you didn't educate yourself on the industry, all the mistakes is called experience.
Right.
It's called, you got a degree in the hard knock life. Right. I have a PhD, baby. I got a PhD.
How many PhDs?
I have millions of dollars worth of PhD experiences, but it's not life. So you're not starting over. So if something doesn't work, well, then I'm just going to start something else, but I'm going to take all of my experience with me. So if I had a business for 5 years and it failed, if I realize all of the mistakes I've made or learning lessons, however you want to call it, well, now when I start my new business, I'm coming with all this knowledge. Right. This last relationship failed. Okay, but what did I learn from it? Yes. How am I a different person? Yes. I now know everything I don't want in a spouse. Right. So thank you, ex-husband, because now I know exactly what to look for. Oh, no, when I see an orange flag, baby, I already know where this is going. No, thank you, right? So you're not starting over. So stop saying I got to start over. You're not starting from scratch. You're bringing all of those life lessons and experiences with you. So you're really starting you're kind of just starting. The industry may be new, the job may be new, the relationship may be new, the opportunity may be new, but you are coming with all of this knowledge.
Right. And I think to your point, that's why we see a lot of the affluent, those that are millionaires, billionaires, something can fail and they're able to start all over again. They can file for bankruptcy and start all over again.
Okay. So in business, I think what helped me get where I am in my divorce healing is all of the bullet wounds I've taken in my business, right? So in business, you got to have tough skin. You got to have tough skin, and you got to realize sometimes when something's not working, I got to let it go. Now, the first time...
Hold on. Because you're about to blow right past that, and I think it's important to dissect that a little bit. Number one, you say you have to have tough skin. And then the second thing was what?
When something's not working, you have to let it go.
You have to let it go. My question has always been, when do I let it go? Like, what's the difference between pushing through, trying to figure it out, versus, okay, it's time to let it go? Like, that's always been a challenge for me, trying to figure out, well, when, you have any thoughts on that? Like, when should?
I think, experience will tell you when to let it go. God will tell you when to let it go. I have carried businesses for a year, right? Like, I got a spot that was too big. The rent was too much.
Right.
I've tried everything underneath the sun.
Right. It just didn't work.
The expenses are too much for what I'm doing, right? All my other blueprints were small. I want to go big. We all think go big or go home. Well, sometimes the smaller the club, the crunk of the party. And so it was like, I carried this for so long. I bled for so long, only to come up with the same result. I got to close it. But now I'm 6 figures in the hole from carrying it, right? But if I had just started, I wouldn't have known that.
Right.
So now that I have that experience, it's not working. Okay, let me try this, change marketing, change this. I'm gonna give it some. I'm not saying that the first time it's not working. No, but you're gonna know. That's kind of like, you know what? I kind of see where this is going. I need to either pivot. So maybe I'm like I know in our dealership, we were doing regular bank financing, right? But after COVID, it was hard to get people approved.
Okay.
Because it's not, do you have a job? It's, do you foresee them having a job in the next 6 to 9 months? Well, jobs are like, well, we don't even know what's going to happen in 6 to 9 months, so we don't know. So it's hard to get people approved. So it's like, well, instead of us having to go through financing, why don't we just be the bank? Like, we just go buy the car and then we just in-house the car, right? So we don't have to do all this. So sometimes in your business, you just got to just pivot. Like, just changing one thing will make that money come. So you got to try all the things you can try. And then if you feel like you're at a dead end, then it's kind of like, let me let it go. Or God's going to put the cement in front of you so you can't go no more. And you're like, okay. Like when my husband shot at me.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, God, got it. You ain't got to say it again. I got this one loud
and clear.
Bet.
Right. You know, that's a great point. How would you have maybe made different decisions if you had somebody else guiding you in that journey, or someone that had that experience before? Prime example, would your results been different in that scenario if there's another dealership that was around that could have led you in making the right decisions at that time? What do you think?
Well, in business, baby, everyone's not trying to help you. Like, the competition isn't trying to give you their secret. That's why I said Jesus. Like, you know, I didn't come up with that. You know, God's going to either put you with the right person. Okay. God's going to put the thought in your head. You have to be in tune with God. Okay, God. Okay, it's the second month. You know that. You know these bills ain't getting paid. I'm pulling from my savings.
Right.
You know what it is. It's about to be gone. So please direct me into what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. And you have to let God lead you.
Yeah, I think that's really important, because for myself, my life, since I gave my life to Christ, that's been my mantra. Regardless of what I'm doing, if I'm on a job and they tell me just sweep the floor, well, I'm sweeping the floor, because the Bible says do all things as unto the Lord. And so I'm doing it my best and trusting that God's going to continue to open doors for me. One of the things I think that is very, very important in business is that we find those, or we pray for God to give us access to those that can help us along the way. I can speak for myself. All of the mentorship programs that I've been a part of, all of the larger firms that have allowed me the opportunity to come alongside of them, it helped me to get that experience I need to get to that next step. But to your point, we had multiple opportunities for partnerships, for mentorships, but everybody wasn't the right partner, and everybody wasn't the partner that God wanted me to partner with. And I think that's really, really important. And how we leverage that to make fewer mistakes, because somebody is able to step in and say, hey, no,
Correct.
Don't do it this way.
Correct.
Like literally right after this podcast, I'm going to help one of my clients out, and I'm going to look at a project and say, no, do it this way, or next time do it that way, to provide that assistance so we don't lose as much. Do you think in our culture that there is some type of stigma against getting help, or do you think there is some resounding I don't even know what to call it, resistance to us saying, hey, I do need help? Do you think that exists, or you think just the opportunity for help is not there?
I think in our community, the issue is paying the value of what the help is. So I grew up with no mentorship, right? So I'm a dinosaur, I'm old. And when I started my entrepreneur journey, like being an entrepreneur wasn't it. Like having that 6-figure job, that corporate, like that was what was it. So I had to do this whole thing bumping my head, which is why I share so many tips, right? But I think in this microwave society, we don't understand that for someone to give me the experience to say, hey, go right, left, right.
Right.
I gotta pay a premium because I'm paying for all the mistakes that they had to make to know to go right, left, right. Where I think we be like, well, how come you just can't tell me to go right, left, right? Or you want what? So I think it's not, I mean, there is a coach on every corner, on every social media thread. I think it's our mentality of paying to get, because what I'm basically doing is paying to get from point A to point B faster. Right. But I think our issue is we don't want to pay for that.
Yeah. So I say this all the time. One way or another, you will pay for your education.
You're going to pay now, you're going to pay later.
Yeah. And I think that I was similar to you. There are a lot of lessons that I had to learn the hard way in business, whether it was through having formal business partners that I've gone through, whether it's learning the hard way with contracts and dealing with contract language, things that I would say, hey, I'll be the good person in this. And I would just try to be the nice guy and do what I believe God would have me to do, not knowing that being the nice guy sometimes will get you burned.
Ran over.
Yeah. So I think that it's just important, as what you're doing on your platform, you are essentially, even without maybe some compensation in areas, coaching other people through the messages you are sharing with others. You're helping them learn something that they didn't know. And I think that is a testament to who you are and the heart that God has given you, because I came to the same realization, the same, like almost identical, going through challenges in my business. It was during the pandemic. I think it allowed a lot of us the opportunity to really think and assess, is this where I really want to be in life? And so having lost millions, as you said, same story, and having made millions, lost millions, and been through that entire journey, I finally got to the point that I said, I don't want to be in the place where I'm stressing about life, stressing about business, babysitting employees, chasing $1 after the next. I don't want to live like that anymore. And it was soon after that I decided to create my own path by creating a different business model, by procuring larger projects and working with less employees. And so that became another strategy of mine. And now in the coaching space, recognizing there's so many people that need help, and I want to help them. And so to be able to provide that I think is huge. And I just want to commend you on that. What's up, everybody? If you are a construction contractor and you're looking to win $1 million contracts, grow and scale your business, I help contractors win $1 million contracts so they can make more money working fewer projects with less employees. And we do this through my mentorship program. In my mentorship program, we have bi-monthly group coaching, we have CEO groups, we provide you an online course, and we teach you the strategies you need in order to scale your business, and we help implement the systems you need on the back end to support your growth. Because number one, you definitely need the resume, the resources, and the relationships to scale your business. Then we've recently added a mentor protege program with major corporations. This is huge because number one, it allows you to learn how other major corporations desire their projects to be run, so you understand their expectations. You're learning, growing, and developing relationships with major corporations, which always leads to more business opportunities. I want to tell you, no one else is doing this in the industry, and you've come to the right place. If you are looking to truly grow and scale your business, I've done it over and over again. I've won multiple awards for scaling a construction company, and I want to show you everything that I did to do it. So if you're looking to scale, grow your business, win $1 million contracts, sign up right now for my free training. It's very simple. It'll be on the screen, and we'll see you soon. God bless. As far as things that you would like to pinpoint in business, what are some of the major obstacles that you face in business, and maybe a couple things that you would encourage people to do in order to overcome an obstacle if they face that same obstacle? Just think of one. What's the major one?
There's so many.
I know there's one or two.
Be careful who you get into bed with in business. When people start businesses and there's no money in the bank account, we're all best friends, right? And we want this partnership. We're going to do this together. We're going to grow. And, we just want to grab everybody. We're going to all do business together, right? But business is like a marriage. It's easy to get in. Me and my husband, we done went to Vegas and got married, right? And, it costs 2 cents to get married. It's going to cost you 6 figures to divorce. Okay. So when you get in a business, everyone doesn't mix. Like your work ethic may be different than my work ethic. How you handle pressure may be different than how I handle pressure. How you view how we should manage the finances or, reinvest in the company or pull the money out and go ball out may be different than how I see it. So it's very important that you find someone that meshes with you. You don't have to be the same.
Right.
But that mesh with you well.
Right.
And you need to make sure that whatever is the agreement, whatever you guys are saying you're going to do, all of that is in writing before the money hits the bank. Because once that money hits the bank, the true person comes out. And a lot of times it's, we don't see eye to eye. How do we go our separate ways without just tearing this baby apart? So don't just jump in bed with someone as a partner in the beginning without knowing we have the same business acumen. Do you think it's other than the business acumen, are there any other signs or as you said, orange flags that may be out there to know the difference? Because I know for myself, I couldn't see that far ahead. I couldn't see some of the character flaws. I couldn't see that some of our core values were different until it was too late. Can I see them now? Oh, absolutely. Okay. So I think a lot of times in business, people say, I need to learn everything so I don't make any mistakes. Well,
you won't.
You won't. You
Right.
can't. So I bet you right now, if someone came up and you talking about investing some money in, and they start saying a couple cute words, well, I'm gonna get back to you, and all that side, that side talk, oh, he ain't got no money, right? Or if you're looking at someone, people will go talk all this stuff, they ain't got no money, they trying to come up with it. No, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? So, but I bet you now you can spot it just like that.
Yeah.
So you have to go through that experience to spot it like that. Like an employee, baby, like people want to pay their employees like top dollar in the beginning, right? Me, you don't see a true employee until 6 months in.
Mm-hmm.
See, when they first get there, their car note late. Right. They've been praying on God for this. They're going to come to work on time, and but after 6 months, they got this money. It's consistent. They bills is paid. They get comfortable. Yeah. Now the true employee comes out. Yeah. Now she late. Right. Now she turned up and coming in, tired, and she didn't come to work today. And now because now she relaxed. Now she ain't thankful for the job no more. It's just I'm gonna get a raise. But you didn't hire her at top dollar in the beginning, not based on no performance. Yeah. And now the performance is dwindling, right? But you don't know all this coming out the game. I've managed over 100 employees at one time, so I know employees like the back of my hand. Yeah. So you are going to make some learning lessons or mistakes. Mm-hmm. It's okay. See, business people know I'm not tripping on failing.
Say that again.
I'm not tripping on failing. Because if I'm failing, that means I tried, and now I know what not to do. Puffy, he got he has a record label. Mm-hmm. Then we got Sean John Clothing. Right. Who wearing Sean John today? Nobody, right? Then he got Ciroc, right? Right. Okay, now he coming back to music. He done 4 different industries. Yeah. And he's still Puffy, and he's still the man. Because business is business. When one industry changes, I'm doing the same blueprint in this industry. And if that fails, I'm gonna do the same blueprint, tweak 2 things, and do it here. So if I make a mistake, if I fail, it's not the end of me, because I'm about to come back bigger and better. Yeah. But a lot of y'all go in with like, if I fail, it's the end of me. It's not.
That's good. That's some good advice. So after you have gone through that, recognize, all right, I experienced that, I failed, I'm gonna pick back up, tweak some things. How has your faith played a large part in you being able to recover and rebound in life and business? How has your faith played a part?
My faith is everything, because I have gone through a lot. I've gone through a lot, especially in business. But when you are in tune with Jesus, he's gonna, if you just stay in tune with him, although like everything is just everywhere, he's gonna show you. So I'm really big on when life is just going hectic, I just pause and I'm like, okay, what do I have right here in front of me that I can use, that I need to just keep on going. Okay. Yeah. So for example, I used to have 10 hair salons. 5 of them were in the Houston area. And this is before AliExpress and, buying hair was easy. Like it was very hard to get hair extensions. Hair extensions would sell on the streets faster than dope. Okay. And it may have been like 3 other hair boutiques in Houston that had hair. You can just go to a store and buy the hair. One morning, all 5 of my salons got broken into at the same time.
Oh, so they targeted you.
Correct. So I get a call by our alarm company at maybe 4:30 in the morning. I go on my cameras. I see the people coming into the ceiling, right? So we get dressed, get down there. I'm now talking to the police as I get another call from ADP, log onto the cameras. They're crazy. Now at another location. Okay, so long story short, they done stole all the hair out, and this is like the weekend that the tax checks hit.
You would think it was copper.
Now, we were spending $100,000 a month starting in like September in buying hair to re-up to make our inventory big to hit for tax season. We made the mistake of storing all of our hair at our biggest salon. So when they came and hit, they took everything.
Wow.
So my ex at the time, he's laid out, right? I'm a little stronger than him mentally. He laid out, and I'm like, listen here. Like, we still got these bills. We got all these girls.
Right. You got to figure it out.
If they don't make their money on Friday, how are we going to pay their rent, pay for these kids they got, So, hey, we gotta get these salons together, and we are just going to do services, right? So I gave the salon I was at a pep talk, ain't no hair. Okay, the hair is gone. We may have had 10 bundles outside on the street that they done dropped or they were stealing. That's all we had, right? I said, listen, we are going to be a service day. When they come in, let them know that we don't have hair. If they call, let them know ahead of time we're out of hair to bring their hair. But we need to maximize on services, right? Go to the next salon. On this salon, the car drove through the storefront, the big glass window. So the client's just walking through the window, right? Pep talk. Hey, y'all, we are doing services, got a glass company in. Because my whole thing is I can't sell the product, but what can I sell?
Right.
I can sell the service. It's still Friday.
Right.
They still coming in with this tax money.
Right.
I won't hit my lick on getting the hair, but I can at least get these services, right?
Yeah.
But let me tell you how God works. So I was like, okay, God, I don't know what you did, because I planned everything perfectly, and this shouldn't have happened. 3 weeks went by. A person came in and got her hair washed, and the hair dreaded up. Never seen it a day in my life. Let me tell you the mistake I made. When you have a product and your product is gold, I don't care if you can get it cheaper. Don't.
That's good.
If you got that blue magic, keep it how it is.
Yes.
Now, being greedy, we were like, we're paying so much for hair, and we got all these people saying we can give it to us cheaper. I can make $20 more a bundle.
Yeah.
I switched my vendor.
Yeah.
Now, whenever I do a new vendor, I'm going to get the hair, I'm going to put it in, I'm going to wear it, swim in it, see what it does. They gave me a nice quality for the sample hair, but on that big order, it wasn't the same quality. So now, the people who did get the bundles that were on the ground, right, when we had maybe like 20 bundles left, when they coming in 3 weeks to get a shampoo and style,
they can tell the difference.
The difference, all the hair dread up. And you couldn't comb. And I'm like, what in the world? So I'm having to cut this weave hair out, and I'm like, hey, I don't know what happened. Like this, I can't put my name on this. I said, my apologies. I said, go to the beauty supply. I will pay for your hair at the beauty supply. And when I get my new bundles, I'm going to give you some new bundles. And my aunt's like, we going to lose money. We'll lose our brand if we have people walking around. Right. Yeah. So what God did was, y'all trying to make an extra $20. You already have blue magic. Why would you mess with the blue magic? So God had them steal the hair, because had I sold all that hair, my brand would have been out of business.
Wow.
So God had them take all that badass hair out because he knew we were about to take ourselves out. Yeah. So now I may have 20 clients who got the bad hair, and I'm telling them, hey, I'm gonna buy you some hair today. Yeah. And when we get the real hair back in, so they ain't tripping. But sometimes the mistake or the loss we think is, oh my gosh, when God's like, baby, you going down the wrong path. Let me stop you from taking yourself out.
That's called grace.
Grace. So my faith always has me, I don't know why this is happening, but let me just fall back and see, what can I do today? Right. So whatever you can do today to make something shake, I'm going to do whatever's going to happen today, but I'm going to keep my ear tuned in to, okay, God, like, what are you showing? Like, why would you just take all the hair? I mean, we have been saving and planning, and I'm like, oh, that's why you took all the hair. Yeah. Got it. God went right back to our high-ass vendor. Hey, where you been?
We back.
Just kidding.
That's an awesome story, and I think that's a testament to, for those of you that are maybe watching this that are of faith, you have a faith in Christ, and you've gone through some things, and you turn back and you recognize God was actually looking out for me in this situation. Mm-hmm. Even when I didn't know it, I was making bad decisions, and his grace covered me. Correct. Even in a bad situation.
Correct.
And the thing that is so great about God, and if you are not walking with him, I would encourage you to, because the great thing about him, he always knows what's best. And so being in that position, we don't always know. We won't always know. Sometimes I think it's intentional that we don't know.
Correct.
But we have to trust that he will always be there with us.
Right.
In those times that we're in the valley, in those times that we're struggling, having hardships, that he's doing something in us. Like everything that you said since the beginning of this episode ties back to that. Even when we are unaware, he's still working something in us.
Correct.
Right? Even when we are not sure of what's happening, or we're not sure how to move from one place to the next, he's already placed something on the inside of us. He's
Correct.
already built something in us in order for us to take that next step, to get to that next place. You know, I've been in an entire sermon series in Exodus and talking about Moses and the children of Israel coming out of Egypt. And I don't know how this got spiritual all of a sudden, but it's just interesting to see when I look back over my life and I compare my life to the story and the narrative of Moses, is that God was always there with Moses, even when he made bad decisions. And I think we have to recognize that that's the type of God we serve. He really is good. When we say God is good all the time, no, he really is, because even when we don't know it, even when we think we're doing the best thing, he's like, no, baby, that's not really the best thing.
Right.
And I've seen time and time again where God has pulled me out of situations because of his grace. And so I have to thank him all the time. And I cannot go back and say he's not with me, because I've seen him show up, like you said, over and over again. Listen, you have provided so many gems, and I hope people catch all of them between the stories, because they're great stories, great experiences, but some key points and some key information I think people need to understand. Number one, don't undervalue or overlook the experiences that you're having that is preparing you for your next.
Correct.
I like the part that you said. Number two, be careful who you get in bed with. Like, be careful who you partner with. And you may not always know up front, but recognize in each relationship over time, it will be revealed.
Correct.
God says he will always place light in darkness. And so sooner or later, it has to show up.
Correct.
And I just, I'm so happy that you were able to expound upon those points. Any last words or last advice that you would give? And I would like you to think about, maybe focus on that person that is juggling multiple businesses, that serial entrepreneur. Since you've been there, is there any last advice that you would give a person that's out there right now listening, that has multiple businesses? Maybe they're not sure which one to continue to drive, continue to push, or place at their priority. Is there any advice that you would give that serial entrepreneur?
I would say you need to do an assessment. Okay. You can do multiple ventures, but you have to get one hot. Like, we can't be trying to get 2 and 3, things together, because we don't have it's only so much time in a day. And then it's like, we're just kind of juggling. Right. Have you heard of the phrase, a jack of all trades and a master of shit, right? So
I don't think I heard it that way, but
you have to get one business hot, one business up and going. Your time has to be in one business to get that to go. Once we have that going, we have our systems, our procedures. It's kind of like an autopilot. Now we can go take our time and go do something up. A lot of times we're going to do our boutique and our restaurant, and we're going to do hair, and we're just in a hamster wheel, and nothing has hit because our time and our attention is so diverted. So you got to get one thing on and popping. And a lot of times we have all these ideas. So I say, do a brain dump, right? So if God gave you an enterprise of 15, bam, write all 15 down. Now, start with the 15. Which is going to be the most cost-effective one to get going? So if I want to maybe if I want to do an online coaching program and I want to have a transportation company, well, let me do the online coaching program first because that has the least startup cost. Let me get some cash flow coming in. So whatever is the most simplest thing to start with that business. It may not be what your passion is and your desire is, but I'm trying to get you some money in the bank in 60 days, right? So get one business started, whatever is the simplest one to start, get it going, get your customers, get the mix. How am I marketing? Where am I targeting audience? Like, how am I getting this thing going? And then start getting you some sales.
Right.
Start getting you some money. Now we got this money coming in over here. We can start, okay, it's growing. Let me now go use these funds and now go start my next venture. But a lot of times people be like, I need a trucking company. I need $500,000. Like, come on. Like, let's just be realistic. Start with what you can start with. Master P, right? If you're going to start a business, I want to have a food truck. Well, you may start with catering out of your car, right? Get you some clientele.
Right.
Get you some people
Get you some sales.
Get you some sales.
Yeah.
And as you earn the money, then we just go and start growing and growing and growing. Now we got a food truck. Now we got a restaurant. Now we got an online recipe book, you know. So now you have your different streams, but you got to start with getting one hot first. You got to get one hot.
That's awesome. So listen, y'all, we're wrapping up this episode. As Joi said, you got to get one hot. If you have multiple businesses, multiple ideas, I like to say it this way, just to add to her point that was so excellent. If you are a person of faith, stick to what God is blessing right now. And I think if you acknowledge, hey, God is blessing this business right now, as Joi said, that's what's hot. Stay with that, build up your sales, get the systems in place, then go do that secondary business. Joi, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. I know you bless so many people, such a wealth of knowledge, so much information, and I hope people continue to tap in to everything that you're working on, because I know you're working on some stuff. I already know you're working on some stuff to roll out because that's who you are and that's what you're going to do. That's your purpose. And I pray God's blessing on you.
Oh, thank you.
I pray that God will continue to expand you, expand your audience, expand your reach, and everything that, like you said, and I know you know it, just a reminder that everything that you lost, that God is restoring back to you, and that you continue to be free and no longer impacted by some of the things that happened, tragic things that's happened in the past, and that God will be able to cause you to continue to move past that. I recognize through Moses' life that until he was able to get to a place he can overcome the trauma that he had went through during his childhood, it actually kept him from his promised land. And so I just want to pray that prayer over you, that God will continue to allow you to be free from all your past trauma, that you continue to move forward into the promises he has for you. So thank you again.
Thank you. I receive all that. All
right, family. So this is a wrap today for today's episode. If you want to continue to learn more about how to disrupt the revenues and the stagnation that you've seen in your business, continue to go ahead, subscribe right now to this podcast for our future episodes, and we'll see you soon.
See you at the bank.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode. I'm so excited about your new journey. And if you are a construction contractor looking to win $1 million contracts, join me by going to www.winmilliondollarcontracts.com. See you soon.